morning to you, and it is definitely a more comfortable morning to step out than it was yesterday at this time. Take a look at the temperatures across the area. We are at 58 already in Tampa. The temperatures are coming up already. 53 in Carrollwood. We've got 60 in St. Pete, 55 in Clearwater. Remember yesterday we were in the upper 30s to low 40s across the area. And as we take a broader view, we're at 50 in Lakeland, 41 in Inverness, Brooksville, and at 46 where we were in the upper 20s yesterday at this time. So yeah, it's going to be more comfortable. You still might want long sleeves or an extra layer for the morning hours, but through the afternoon, winds pick up just a little bit and we'll make it to highs in the mid to upper 70s. We do have a frontal system moving through. I'll have our rain chances coming up in the full forecast. Good morning, Meredith. How are things looking for the commute?
Looks good for bridge travelers. If your commute involves the Howard Franklin, you can see traffic is still light. No issues reported with the Skyway, Gandy, Courtney Campbell, or Bayside bridges. On the maps, still delay-free on the Veterans Expressway, I-75. Starting to see speeds dip just a little bit southbound 275. Current travel time between the Apex and I-4 of 17 minutes. Westbound I-4, McIntosh in through downtown Tampa, a 12-minute drive. And we'll wrap up in Pinellas County, US 19, in either direction between Gandy and Gulf to Bay, 11 minutes. Dan, over to you.
Thank you, Meredith. 6:01. We're learning more this morning about an overnight fire in North Tampa that took at least 24 firefighters to knock down. It happened near the Veterans Expressway and Gun Highway in Citrus Park. Rob Munoz is live at that property now with more on exactly what happened. Good morning again, Rob.
And good morning, Dan. The lights here at this property are off, and we've been talking a little bit about these brush fires, but if you take a look at this property here, it's pretty lucky that all these trees surrounding this house, not a single one didn't catch fire. Now, but Hillsborough County Fire Rescue got to this home here just after midnight. They found a shed and a mobile home in flames. Now, the two of them are right behind a house where firefighters say two adults were staying, but they're the ones who called the fire in, and they were able to get out in time. Now, the house didn't escape unscathed. There was some fire damage on the backside where that fire was, but crews were able to put it out before it got worse. And Hillsborough County Fire Rescue says they did look at one person after this fire happened, but they were fine and didn't need to be taken to the hospital. And right now, fire investigators are still saying that they're looking at the cause of this fire. No idea yet. And again, like I said, the property dark now. We see no cars in the driveway, so no idea really if these two people are still staying at that home or if they're staying at a friend's or relatives. In Citrus Park, I'm Rob Munoz, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Rob. Well, crews will be cleaning up at the Port of Tampa today following that massive fire that we showed you at this time yesterday. Investigators are now trying to determine what caused the fire at a steel recycling facility. Smoke billowed into South Tampa and across the bay into St. Pete throughout the day. Witnesses reported seeing and hearing a series of explosions before that fire erupted. And firefighters throughout the Bay Area were certainly very busy on Monday with brush fires breaking out in several places. A fire along Revels Road in Hillsborough County destroyed a boat in storage. Crews also raced to put out fires in Winter Haven and also in Clearwater. And while we are not in a drought situation right now, Shay says that we are abnormally dry. We want to check in now with you because you've been pinpointing some of the danger zones.
Right. Across the state, most of the state is abnormally dry. In fact, it's the panhandle that we've been watching all the rain moving through that is still in a moderate drought. So it just all has to do with how much rain you've received and how much rain you should be receiving. So Tampa's rainfall is still over 2.5 inches below the average for this time of year. So we are considered abnormally dry. We definitely could receive more rain, but fortunately, we are not in one of those more severe situations where we are in a drought type situation. The bottom line is, though, you always want to use caution when you're dry when it comes to fires. Dia?
All right, thank you, Shay. A Fort Pierce man is facing criminal charges this morning because of pictures that he posted on Facebook. Investigators say 21-year-old Ryan Waterman posted pictures of his encounter with a manatee calf. In the pictures, you see a man lifting the calf partially out of a creek in St. Lucie County last month. And then in one of the images, it even shows a child sitting on the manatee. It is illegal to injure, harm, or harass a Florida manatee. President Obama is going to receive a high honor when he visits Israel next month. Israeli President Shimon Peres' office says that he will award Mr. Obama the Presidential Medal of Distinction. The president will be the first sitting U.S. president to receive the award. Last year, President Obama presented the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Perez. News of the award comes after a few rocky years between the Obama administration and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Tension began with the president pushed for a comprehensive freeze of Israeli settlements during his first term. Defense Department nominee Chuck Hagel is hoping a letter to some of his sharpest critics will clear the path to his confirmation. In the letter, Hagel says he didn't remember and disavowed a 2007 report where he reportedly described the State Department as an adjunct in the Israeli government. Hagel's views towards Israel and Iran, as well as his position on nuclear arms, have been questioned by Republicans. GOP senators stalled Hagel's nomination last week with a filibuster. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is about to start raking in some hefty paychecks. We now know the Harry Walker Agency is going to represent her on the lecture circuit. That's the same agency that represents her husband, former President Bill Clinton. He's made more than $89 million in speaking gigs since leaving office. Political reports Mrs. Clinton will likely begin speaking engagements in the spring. Former South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford is asking for a second chance. The plea comes in his first television ad for the special election in South Carolina's 1st congressional district. In the ad, Sanford says that no one goes through life without mistakes. Sanford's political career was derailed by an affair with a woman from Argentina in 2009. Sanford and his wife Jenny divorced the next year. The former governor is now engaged to his Argentinian girlfriend.
6:06 this morning, a Buccaneers player is facing serious legal problems in New York. Defensive end Daquan Bowers was arrested at LaGuardia Airport Monday for trying to bring a handgun on board a plane. The 22-year-old Bowers was released last night from criminal court after posting $10,000 bail. Authorities charged Bowers with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the 2nd degree. Those charges carry a minimum sentence of 3.5 years in prison. The Buccaneers released a statement on Bowers' arrest saying, quote, "We are aware of the situation and are gathering information. We will withhold comment until we know all the facts." NFL spokesman Greg Aiello also said the incident will be reviewed by the league. The charges Bowers is facing is the same one former NFL wide receiver Plaxico Burress was arrested for in 2008. He accidentally shot himself in a nightclub in New York. Burress later accepted a plea deal and served 20 months in prison.
7 minutes after 6 now, we may finally know what caused that fire that crippled the Carnival cruise ship Triumph. New evidence from the Coast Guard this morning shows it likely started with a leak in a fuel oil return line. Investigators say the fuel oil return line was connected to one of the ship's generators. Leaking oil hit a hot surface, which then started the fire. The lead investigator is praising the ship's crew for doing, quote, "a very good job containing the fire." The U.S. Coast Guard says the investigation will last several months. More than 4,000 passengers and crew were stranded off the coast of Mexico for 5 days. Coming up on ABC Action News this morning, a woman says she was fired over sex. We'll tell you what led to her dismissal right after the break.
And controlling guns. Also ahead, the bill passing one state's House that'll require universal background checks for all gun purchases.
And we're taking action to help you get back to work this morning. Here's a look at our job of the day from our partners at Job News Tampa. You're watching ABC Action News this Tuesday morning, 8 minutes after 6. Stay with us. We'll be right back.